Hello, I'm Lisa Pesnichek with the Dynamic Self Astrology, and I'm here to bring you the month ahead astrological weather. So thanks for joining me again. Always a pleasure to bring you this information so you know what you're headed into for the month ahead. So, in opening, May may have ended with some heavy energy, resulting in consequential blows to the plan. We could have been reminded that our need to control life comes with consequences that ultimately make us more vulnerable. The events at hand may have required extra effort in order to make sense of what unfolded. Or maybe there was just more condensed pressure than usual. Regardless of how the end of May felt and what it produced for us, June provides a fresh breath of air, a moment to integrate and reorient amongst the quickening that has overtaken our day to day reality. In this month, we could enjoy moments of appreciation, of nourishment, and of comfort. This doesn't mean that the larger world won't still be reeling on some level, but it does mean that each of us can lean back a bit and enjoy the finer things in life, such as our loved ones, nature, art and creativity, yummy food, acts of kindness towards ourselves and others. We are able to lean into feeling good this month. Now, this month won't fix everything, but we deserve some rest and relaxation. And the astrology promises that the months ahead will not allow for the same level of ease. As July begins, we will quickly be thrust into more intensity. The first alignment that we're looking at this month is Venus conjunct Jupiter. Amongst the backdrop of a largely Venusian month, emphasizing peace, harmony, June holds the most positive astrological alignment of 2026. On June 9th, Venus joins up with an exalted Jupiter in Cancer at 25 degrees, 46 minutes. In a largely fast and furious sky, prompting us out of our comfort zones and to take a dramatic leap, this alignment gives us the opportunity to lean into our feeling body and find some balance. In the sign of Cancer, we could be needing a sense of emotional security and protection. This alignment promises to be some sort of a balm to ease the nervous system and allow us to sink into our vulnerability more completely. It is in this place where we can integrate the massive changes that we stand amongst. If relationships have encountered some wear and tear amongst the tumultuousness of energy in this recent time, this is a great moment to make amends. Have heart to heart conversation, enjoy the ease and joy that is available in loving connections. Remember that it is vulnerability, not heavy handed action, that keeps love alive and helps it to flourish. The astrology of this time in particular, and broadly in the month of June, provides support for tenderness and mutual understanding. So take a look at your chart to see what you have near and around 25 degrees of the cardinal signs, which are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. And if you do have anything at these degrees, then you could find yourself more positively impacted by this transit. I hope you enjoy it. Next up is the Gemini new moon. It takes place on June 14th and is situated at 24 degrees Gemini, 3 minutes. The Gemini new moon offers excitement and curiosity. This is ultimately a fun and uplifting new moon to have occurring on the heels of the Venus Jupiter conjunction. This could be a time when socializing and community are highlighted, making new friends and connections, also visiting new places that inspire you. While there are some technical elements that could provide tensions and general challenges, the overall sentiment of this new moon is supportive and enjoyable. Take advantage of it and arrange time to enjoy friends and maybe even learn something new. Around this time, curiosity is really your ally. And then moving to a more challenging alignment on June 17th, we have Venus opposing Pluto at 5 degrees, 7 minutes. It takes place not long after Venus enters the sign of Leo, and in a month that's largely defined by Venus and her movement through the sky. This alignment could kind of stir up the vulnerability that was spoken to previously. The moment that Venus perfects her opposition to Pluto, the moon will be right beside her, highlighting and bringing emotional sentiment to this alignment. And Neptune and Uranus will be in flowing aspects to this opposition. So we could find that there's a new way that we're relating to one another, to ourselves. And we could find that peace and harmony is beckoning us, but in order to receive these blessings, we must first sever ourselves from outdated patterns, which is that opposition to Pluto, saying that something has to go. The separation from old ways could be scary and could leave us feeling momentarily unprotected. A plunge into the unknown is being presented to us, but there is immense support. And the risk to remain in our own old ways is really greater than the risk involved in taking the leap. That's what the pressure is saying. It's saying it's time to, to figure out what this new path is. If you're feeling all the feels at this time, then you're in the right place. Lean into the vulnerability and allow the new opportunity and excitement to take the lead. Remember, there's a cost to everything. And in some ways, this opposition is a precursor to the Jupiter Pluto opposition that we're going to experience in July. So we're not done with this alignment. If anything, this is just a preview of what's to come in July. So keeping that in mind and knowing that there's still more to work through when it comes to what's happening with this opposition. And next, we have Chiron into Taurus on June 19th. Chiron will make its first dip into Taurus, where it will linger until September 17th, and then it will retrograde back into Aries, and then make its decisive ingress on April 14th, 2027. Chiron has been in Aries since 2018. It's been there for a little while and has been indicative of the heightened struggle for individuality within our society. One example is the battle within social media to make a name for oneself, which can often be a futile effort, yet it's been one that I would say many of us have encountered or jumped into. But within this is also the drive to be more sovereign. And I think one of the most potent times when this showed up was in 2020, when many people left their 9 to 5 jobs and began working on their own, often using social media as a platform for what they were doing. There has been a reclamation of independence and a desire to not have to be an employee if we can swing it. So, some of the shadow work in this is themes of self abandonment, misguided anger, and suppressed identity, as illustrated by Chiron and Aries. These things are kind of winding down. We're not done with them because, as we know, Chiron's going to go back into Aries. But we do see that the orientation of the wounded healer will begin to be more focused on scarcity, on personal worth, on body image and sensuality, as well as finances. And this is really illustrated by Chiron's ingress into Taurus. And if you're interested in learning more about this, Broadcast Astrology Insight for Humans just had a recent conversation with Maurice Fernandez and Merriman Castles discussing primarily our discussion was around Chiron's ingress into Taurus and what its experience in Aries has been like as well. So during Chiron's time in Taurus, we could collectively be grappling with being safe in our bodies, how to find value within a capitalistic society, and allowing ourselves the experience of abundance. Globally, there could be more defined financial reorganization. Then we have Mercury stationing retrograde. This happens on June 29th. And Mercury stations retrograde at 26 degrees Cancer. 15 minutes. So this is actually really close, the same degree that we had the Venus Jupiter conjunction. So there's a lot of activity happening around 25, 26 degrees of Cancer specifically. And Mercury will retrograde until July 23rd when it stations direct at 16 degrees Cancer, 18 minutes. The retrograde station takes place in a conjunction to Jupiter, suggesting a time of inflated words and misguided information. We could expect empty promises and or a grand plan that takes an unexpected turn. The station direct is situated square to Saturn, stating that the cold truth could hit hard at the end of the retrograde and a new orientation on a pragmatic path forward could be available. So there's something we're learning. There's a correction being made within this retrograde. It is also possible that whatever events are aligned with this Mercury retrograde could end up right where they began, facing the consequences of untempered decisions. Again, check to see what planets and placements you have between 16 to 26 degrees of cardinal signs, which are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. You could be more impacted by this retrograde than most. And our final step for this month is the Capricorn full moon, which also takes place on June 29th. June 29th is a pretty active day. There's a lot happening in the sky. And this Capricorn full moon is situated at 8 degrees, 14 minutes. We find that stability and security are highlighted, located in a square to the widening but still applicable Saturn Neptune conjunction. We could be reminded of the porous nature of being human. Regardless of the efforts that we make to keep our lives predictable and in order, adjustments must be made in the midst of unavoidable destabilization. This full moon restates the inevitability of corrosion, the process of falling apart, and loss in general. While the reality of this moment doesn't have to be as grim as I just described, the days surrounding this full moon could drain our energy or make us feel lost and untethered in some way. Again, the cardinal signs are being triggered, and this time in the earlier degrees. So look at what you have around 8 degrees of Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. It should be said that if you have cardinal placements near this degree, that you're already facing the impacts of Saturn, Neptune, and this full moon could just bring more of a defined statement towards what you're processing due to these transits. And in closing, the month really ends on a cliffhanger. Jupiter will have just entered the sign of Leo on June 29th, and it sets up its powerful opposition to Pluto, which I mentioned earlier. And we find that wealth and power is being evaluated. We could be required to make major concessions. And the Mercury retrograde will add its own commentary on the events that take place in July. The US's 250th birthday promises to be a spectacle and one that will be unfolding for the better part of the year, which I'm sure I will speak to more next month. But until the upheaval of July kicks in, take advantage of the calm serenity offered in June. Let your nervous system find its baseline, have joyful conversations, allow yourself to find comfort and ease within your days. It is not often that we have a month as relatively uneventful as June. This does not mean that it will be all smooth sailing. Sometimes, when we are in a state of relative calm waters, it allows for the discomfort to arise to the surface. And we could find that we're dealing with material that we've been avoiding, and we're being asked to take notice of it. And we may not want to because it's uncomfortable. But this is the time to untangle the messiness that we may have been pushing aside. Remember that if we decide to look the other way yet again and say, not now, bad feelings, then we're actually choosing to keep it with us and to continue to carry it with us. So, working through the material that comes up could give us the opportunity to lighten our load and release it once and for all. I truly hope that you're able to enjoy the sweet tenderness available this month. Don't fall into the assumption that this state of ease will remain for long. Savor the potential yumminess of this time. And if this month personally serves you a heap of challenges, then this could have more to do with the personal transits that you're in the midst of. You're not doing anything wrong if this is where your June lands, but do recognize that comfort and ease is much more widely available. And make sure you're asking for help. Reach out to a friend. This is a great month to make those heartfelt connections and really be met where you are. So I hope that you find the integration, the healing, the peace, the calm, the nurturing that you need this month because the rest of the year really is pretty fast and furious. This is our breath in the middle of the year. So give it to yourself. I hope that you have some good plans for how to use this time. Lots of love to each of you. I will see you in July when we start to see more of the craziness really manifest. So see you then. Take care. Bye, everybody.